everybody, and welcome to the Bob Stoops app for Hall of Fame football coach Bob Stoops. I'm Brad McMullen. 6 weeks into the season, a lot of interesting things have been happening. This guy, though, wow, predictions. He predicted to start the season it would be Georgia and Oklahoma at the end. Both of those teams remain undefeated. And now Oklahoma has the nation's longest winning streak because Alabama went down to A&M. Thoughts so far on the first 6 weeks?
I have no idea how A&M beat Alabama. First of all,
a lot of people in Vegas that are scratching their heads too.
Believe me, it's just shocking because, and I got to give it to them. They found a way to do it, and especially they had coming off of back-to-back losses, and with their backup quarterback. But he played
lights out.
Played lights out, and good for him. And they played a heck of a game to win. But it's been an interesting year, just all the different upsets. Iowa, number 2 in the country. I had a chance to see them in person against Penn State. Outstanding team, great football team. They do not beat themselves, take care of the ball, incredible defense. Torrey Taylor probably is the best punter in America. He pinned him at Penn State inside the 10-yard line 5 or 6 times. 5 for sure, maybe 6. 3 of them inside the 5. And then with that defense, you can't go 90 yards against them. So they just have a formula to win, and they're not going away. They're going to continue to do well. Georgia, just their defense looks, you can't move the ball on them. They've given up less than 7 points over 6 games. So they like 6 points a game. It's 5.5 points a game through 6 games. I've never heard of that. OU's found a way to win in some tight games. Making it hard on ourselves with turnovers last week. Hopefully we can correct that. But, Kentucky.
Yeah, let's talk about your
brother
team.
Mark's
Come
team.
on.
Kentucky's been fun to watch. This is another game we're focusing on, Kentucky at Georgia this week, and I've had a chance to really study and watch them. Great football team, really strong football team. Defensively, offensively, running the football, throwing it. They got a new quarterback that's throwing the football well. They beat the heck out of LSU.
Yeah, let's talk
that
about
wasn't
it. They
even close.
Controlled the line of scrimmage against LSU.
Yeah.
I was surprised. Let me be honest with you.
Sure.
I was surprised to see Kentucky virtually say, we can do whatever we want, whenever we want against LSU.
The closest it got was 14-0. Kentucky went up 14-0, and it was a runaway from then on. It was 35-7 at one point. So just totally the line of scrimmage, both sides of the ball, they handled it. And, Levis, their quarterback, is that the right proper way to pronounce it, is really playing well. Tough guy. Runs the football, doesn't slide, when he scrambles out of the pocket. Throws the football downfield better than maybe what Kentucky's had in the last several years. They're able to throw the football more in a better way that's really helped them offensively. So solid football team. That's going to be a good game against Georgia.
It should be a lot of fun. Again, Kentucky undefeated, Georgia undefeated. One of the other interesting storylines of the SEC, obviously, Alabama and Texas A&M. Still head-scratching the whole time how that possibly happened. But they have a big rebound game against a former coworker of yours and Mike Leach in Mississippi State, who beat Texas A&M.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. The way, of course, Mike Leach in Mississippi State throws the football, that's always a challenge. And can they dial up the right plays at the right time? Again, take care of the football and, defensively contain Bryce Young. That's another thing, the last week that A&M did. They put Bryce Young in some tough spots and made him work for it, and they came out on top. They made it challenging for Bryce Young. So that'll be another factor for Mississippi State. Can they control that passing game?
We talk about some of the big, disappointing teams. LSU's got to be right up there. A lot of expectations for LSU to have a bounce back year. Things have not gone well for the Tigers.
No, defensively they look rough. They don't look very. They don't look like the typical LSU defense you're used to seeing. All right, they out of position, getting beaten coverage. The line of scrimmage isn't what you're used to seeing overall. And and I don't see that changing anytime real soon. You're in mid-year, and you're looking at that spotty defensively, it doesn't just usually get fixed overnight. So we'll see where it goes. But and offensively, same thing. Just the line of scrimmage isn't what you're used to seeing. They don't control the ball by running it like you're used to seeing LSU do. So it'll be different here to see how they finish the year.
Yeah, the seat is getting warmer for Ed Orgeron. And Clay Helton went into the season at USC. A lot of expectations. Felt very confident. Things did not start well. USC, you're going to say the train is off the tracks. Clay Helton was let go. Thoughts on the Trojans and just the way they've played this year?
Yeah, just obviously 3-3, I believe they are right now. It's not what you expect from USC. And you just don't see it getting any better. At the end of the day, you just wonder what the pulse is of the team. You know, how bad do they really want it, and or are they just waiting to get a new coach and start again? So I don't know. When you're not there, who am I to say? You know, I don't know what the players' pulse is, but it hasn't looked really positive from the outside. Just watching highlights, watching them play. There doesn't seem to be a great spark right now at all.
Now, when you look at their dream candidates to be their next head coach, I have to say, Coach, I see a familiar name up there. Yours.
I thought I've already addressed that, but I can't control what people say. You know, again, it's not what I'm looking to do. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, watching my son at OU play. The other one's coaching at OU, Isaac, and I'm enjoying this Fox Big Noon kickoff that the group I've been working with here this year. It's been a fun, easy group to be around. And but again, life brings you different things at different times, but it's not what I'm looking to do right now.
All right, you heard it right here inside the mobile app. All right, let's talk about some other storylines that are out there. When you're looking at Oklahoma football, when you walk down the ramp, you go out of the locker room, you see play like a champion. It's been there for years. Bud Wilkinson hung the sign. It's been well documented. Notre Dame, though, Lou Holtz, they trademarked it. Barry Switzer has been very outspoken on this. Thoughts on how they could do that?
I don't know. I got an attorney buddy I'm going to have to ask. Maybe Coach Switzer, they beat us to the punch. Coach Switzer should have did it, way back when or whatever. But from what I understand, that goes all the way back to Bud Wilkinson, and he's the first one to hang it up in the locker room. And all 18 years, every game that I was there, we hit that sign on the way out. So again, how trademarks happen, I don't know. But anyway,
it's interesting.
We have the history and the lineage. We all know that, so be it.
Yeah, and there is no rumor bigger than the Irish schooner. If they're going to have one of those as well, but probably not. All right, as we look forward to the rest of the year, how do you think things are going to play out in some of these conference races when you start first in the Pac-12 with Oregon?
Interesting. Really not sure. When I saw Oregon beat Ohio State, I thought there's no way they're going to lose in the Pac-12. But things change. I still believe they'll end up winning out and being the Pac-12 champion.
All right, Big Ten, Michigan undefeated. They have played really well. Michigan State also undefeated. You've seen Iowa undefeated. Ohio State, though, boy, they have looked really good the last 3 weeks.
They've looked really good. They've made changes defensively, playing more zone, traditional coverages. They still make some mistakes that hurt them, but overall, they're playing a lot better and more consistently defensively, which gives them a chance. C.J. Stroud, their quarterback, totally different than the first 2-3 games. He's more comfortable. I saw him in those early games, even short intermediate throws. He was really too hard, throwing it too fast, didn't have quite the touch, looked uneasy. He looks really relaxed now, comfortable, making those intermediate short throws in a really good way. Looks really comfortable, now, and I think that's going to be a big difference for him. He's playing really well. So they're going to be hard to beat. I believe Iowa is the one that has a chance to beat them. They'll have a chance in I believe it'll get down to the Big Ten championship, and Iowa definitely has a formula to beat them. The way they play defense, special teams, and the way they can run the football, they can give Ohio State a problem.
All right, ACC, you want to take the paddles out there for North Carolina. I have no idea. I'm sure Mac Brown has no idea what happened to the Tar Heels with all the expectations entering the 2021 season.
Yeah, and how their quarterback was a Heisman frontrunner to start the year. I haven't seen enough of North Carolina to say what's happened, but they sure have played poorly overall and shockingly. And again, they were a team that you thought could win it possibly, going into the season. But you have Georgia Tech, I believe, is still undefeated. Mm-hmm. Is that? I think I have that right. And then, of course, Clemson, I believe, will still win it like they always do. Though they've
struggled on offense as well.
They have, and but they still have the talent overall. I believe that it'll be hard to beat them for the championship.
And it's Wake Forest. Wake
Forest is who's undefeated.
Yeah, it's going to be. I say this, as bad as Florida State played to start the year, they started playing well the last 2 weeks. Maybe they can catch fire. And Clemson's going to get it together. They have too many athletes to not score on offense, but they need to do something quick.
Yeah, and Florida State, you want to see them back. Just
good
like
for college football.
Absolutely, just like Michigan, you love seeing them playing the way they are. Florida State, I believe, will continue to improve. Maybe this is what they needed, that spark to all of a sudden to ignite them. We'll see, but I still, again, in the ACC, I still believe it'll be Clemson.
All right, Big 12, Oklahoma in position to play for, it's hard to believe, their 7th consecutive Big 12 championship. Who do you see as their greatest challenger as we head towards the end of the season?
Oklahoma State right now. They're really playing in a great way, and in the last couple of games, they've had some big games to go. To go on the road to Boise and win. They just beat BYU, who was undefeated. So really solid win, and I felt when they won it, it was a heck of a win, and I did pick them to win in that game. So Oklahoma State, I believe, is catching their stride, and they'll be the toughest one, I believe.
And the interesting teams out there that you just don't know about, the Baylor Bears, who have played very, very well, only one loss on the season, and then the unknown factor of Iowa State. All these returning starters, a preseason top 7 team in the country, they just have not looked like the Iowa State we've seen the last 2 years.
Yeah, for whatever reason, it's hard to put your finger on why. Like you said, just with all the returning starters, how does this happen? But it's still a good football team, and they've beaten us, in the regular season. So, they're still going to be a formidable opponent and a tough out, definitely.
All right, let's finish with the SEC, where defending national champion Alabama had an unthinkable thing happen. They lost a football game to Texas A&M on the road at College Station. They're looking to rebound, obviously, against Mississippi State this week. But Georgia, the team you picked to dethrone Alabama in the SEC, they look lights out.
They are, and playing well defensively, maybe one of the best defensive teams we've ever seen. That's offensively, they're struggling just a little bit. They're not quite as prolific as they have been in some other years, but still very good running the football overall. But defensively, they've just been so good that's all they've needed. And I still believe they'll be the one to win it all in the SEC this year, just because of that defense. And I think I read they have like 19 5-star high school players that are starting offensively and defensively. So they're talented to, they have the talent to be the SEC champ as well.
Yeah, when good teams have 1 or 2 and they've got 19,
yeah,
that's a pretty good stock for you.
That's pretty good, yeah.
All right, don't forget you can win lunch with Coach Bob Stoops, and he's going to pick up the tab. Just enter to win right here inside the mobile app. And for videos anytime, 24/7, just tap on the video link. For Hall of Fame coach Bob Stoops, I'm Brad McMullen.